Greetings. People's reaction to the touchscreen nerf has been mixed, to say the least. But like it or not, it is here. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make another touchscreen video, so don't click away just yet. But the whole ordeal brought up another controversial issue. Should TAG4 maps be re-ranked again? To be fair, these TAG4 maps wouldn't affect the leaderboards all that much now with the touchscreen nerf. There are so many maps that the general player base consider overrated that a few gimmicky maps those only benefit a handful of players wouldn't make much of a difference. One of those handful of players would be GN. The community considers him grossly underranked due to his outstanding reading skills, and TAG4 maps would certainly help with that. But that's not really a valid argument for putting TAG4 maps back into the PP pool. Just because we deemed certain players are underranked, it isn't really logical to decide things based on that. During the touchscreen fiasco, many players felt that 400 PP was a bit too severe. Notice how I stressed felt? This is not entirely connected to this exact issue, but we could get to the point where we award players PP they deserve, but for the wrong reasons. We could manually adjust some of the maps to our liking, instead of taking the harder approach and fixing that aspect of the system. We could also go ahead and create exclusive maps that only underranked players would be able to get PP from. Hi there, can I farm this map that just got ranked? I would really like some of that PP. No, go away you overranked peasant. Obviously that is just a hyperbole, but the way we decide how we solve things might affect the future of the game in ways that you wouldn't expect, or even agree with. So first let's talk about why TAG4 maps got deranked in the second place. You heard it right. This is not the first time TAG4 maps were not part of the maps that you could farm. The reason why TAG4 maps were moved to a state that is basically the last section today was because they were never meant to be ranked anyway in the first place. But Vereto, broken old maps shouldn't be ranked either by that logic, so please delete this video, okay? Ah, I see. You haven't been around back in those days. So, before you jump into any conclusions, let me take you back to an age where, grab onto something, where PP hadn't existed. A long time ago, if you had asked the player how much PP is there to play, they would just get confused and send you a question mark. Because back in those days, only this ranking existed, and it looked like this. Okay, it went through some changes during the years, but you get the point. You might be thinking, wait a minute, wouldn't long maps be broken as hell? And you would be right. So they implemented the approved system. Basically, approved maps didn't award ranked score. Mostly marathons were affected by this. And yes, you guessed it right, TAG4s as well. If you are invested in this issue, you might recognize this map. There is a link in the description that directs you to the ranked version. But isn't this one also ranked? Well, technically it wasn't. So the argument that it was only because of touchscreen that the map was deranked is not entirely correct. It just wasn't high on the priority list until touchscreen came and put TAG4s in the spotlight. Meet Kafster, the guy who managed to set the highest PP score despite only being 4-digit player at the time. While it wasn't 900 PP, his TAG4 play revealed the potential touchscreen and absurdly fast screen jumps had together. So the reason why TAG4s were excluded from giving ranked score, then excluded from giving PP, was because they broke the system. But wouldn't TAG4s break our current PP system even without touchscreen? Who decides what breaks our PP system? Do we use a democratic process and let people vote? But that would allow players with very little experience to sway the results. Do we only allow players to vote if they have reached a certain amount of rank? But your rank doesn't always reflect your true skill. Besides, just because you possess high-level mechanical skills, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have sufficient understanding of the game. I mean, sure, it is a game about clicking circles, but that's one of the reasons why you could master the execution without understanding the meta. Even if we decide how we settle this, couldn't we just go further? Why not derank notoriously overrated maps like Daigenome or Best Friends, or anything that we, vindictive bunch, deem broken? This is obviously a slippery slope fallacy, but that's why the way we decide how we decide this will influence the way we will decide things in the future. No matter which side you are on, please consider this. Oh, and as a side note, I would love to see team rankings on TAG4 maps. That could even revive tag mapping.